Hello, loves. One moment. Meow. Now you might be wondering, the hell is this freak wearing? And I would say to that, you call me a freak, I break your nods. Maybe it's not appropriate to respond with violence, but fuck you, don't call me a freak, I'll break your nods. Now, the reason I'm wearing these, as per your query, is today I'm going to talk to you about furries. Why? Well, to put it simply, well, it's like we're all lumped together, and it's annoying because it's a fairly broad term, and I don't like to be misrepresented. I would prefer it if people didn't just resort to all these inane stereotypes, which do have some basis in truth, but are ultimately moronic. It's like this. Sweeping generalization is never always true, but some of them are true sometimes. Now, when I say furry, most of you probably throw your minds straight to the dark places on the internet full of yiff, which is kind of accurate-ish, I guess. Well, to dispel that stereotype, let me speak thusly. We are not all zoophiles. We do not all fetishize the artwork, and blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. A furry is just someone with an appreciation for anthropomorphic characters within artwork, be that in comic books, cartoons, anything. Okay? If you appreciate anthropomorphic art, if you appreciate anthro characters and such, if you appreciate that kind of art, that style of representing characters as animals, then that it's effectively what being a furry is. You may not identify as a furry, and that's fine. It's the same with any kind of community. This is the definition, but just because you meet that criterion doesn't necessarily mean you're part of the community, because you don't necessarily identify as such. And yes, there is a lot of erotic artwork around this subject, some of which is horrifying beyond words. I've seen things. Oh God. But then so is real pornography. Well, you know what I mean, live action such. I mean, the horror. Ugh. Traffic cones should not go in those places. Nor should people grow to be 80 feet tall and then smash their into, because it's just why is that a thing? Why? Where was I? Right. Fetishes. Yeah, it's like, I think it's roughly 30-something%. I don't have the exact statistics in front of me. There's a great video that discusses all of this in terrific detail. It's by Noggin. I should probably put a link in the description. Boop, boop, boop. Might forget. Hope I don't. Probably won't. And, so yeah. Where was I? So, yeah. There's like, what, 30-odd% that fetishize the artwork, 30-odd% that don't, and 30 that just don't care one way or the other. Not all of us are fursuiters. Partly because fursuits are ludicrously expensive and rather difficult to come by. Or maybe because there's no preference, or because it's not a preference of the individual. And it's just weird. And even those that do, I don't think I ever will, because the eyes kind of creep me out a little. But those that do, it's not like a whole thing, because, I mean, they're playing a character, effectively, is what they're doing. So yeah, maybe the character does not speak. Maybe the character does. Etc., 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 etc. Etc. Blah, blah. Now, there's also the stereotype floating around in the ether that we're all, you know, into animals, and that's just not true. There's like, maybe, I don't know, it's less than 10%, which is still fairly high, but when you consider that we're also a fairly small proportion of the population, it's like, it's just a quirk of the sample size, you know? I don't know. It's a little odd that it's more frequent, but whatever. It's actually interesting. The less common sexualities are also more frequent within furries, and that's interesting to me. It's very odd, but it's interesting, to say the least. What else? Okay, so we, for the most part, we're just like anyone else. Okay? That's basically it. Stereotypes are stupid. I have nothing more to say on the matter. I think I've summed up my position pretty well. For the most part, we're just normal people, says the man wearing cat ears. But whatever. Whatever. I mean, yeah, some of us are freaks, but so are a bunch of non-furry people. If you ask me personally, everyone everywhere is a freak. Okay? No one is normal. Normal does not exist. That is the end. In fact, if someone were completely normal, perfectly average, nothing quirky or unusual about them, they would be boring. Very, very boring. They'd be a beige, flavourless oatmeal paste of a person that just doesn't have anything interesting about them at all. It's the things that make us different that make us interesting people. It's the things that make us different that make us people, you know? No one's the same. So to say normal, it's so disingenuous. And that is my final thought on the matter. I hope that this helped and didn't wig everyone out unbearably. Ciao! Oh, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe it, like it, share it, all that jazz. If not, go die in a fire. I'm serious. If you don't like my videos, you're no good to me. Die. Toodles!